Hello everybody, this is me, Raptor, and today I'm going to be discussing about a Shadow of Mordor sequel. And the first game was really good and is really underrated, but there's things that they can do to improve in the sequel. Like, Shadow of Mordor as it is like an 8 or a 9, but with a few changes, with a few improvements, it'll be like a 10. So, first off, I think there should be some more enemies and allies and races and all that. Like, there should be elves and goblins and more types of orcs and hobbits, everything. On the boss battles, they were pretty good, but there needs to be like more unique bosses. There needs to be like different ways, like more and better ways to fight the bosses, and like make the bosses overpowered but not too overpowered. And like there should also be like small boss battles and big boss battles. I also think there should be more mounts because, yeah, I like the Karagors, but it doesn't make any sense because there's horses. You're supposed to ride horses. It's a Lord of the Rings game. So why don't they have like horses to ride or eagles to fly on or dragons or anything, or those bat-looking creatures, like bat dragon creatures. I forgot what they're called. And also, I think the stealth needs to be improved. It was okay in Shadow of Mordor, but I think they should make it better. Like, make it less clunky, make it like better, make the stealth better and more fluid. I think there should be like different types of stealth weapons, and like the cover system should be improved. Like, they should have the cover system from like Uncharted or some other kind of game like that, but like not exactly like a complete copy, but like similar. And I also think that there should be like disguises, and you should be able to have your branded enemies be able to infiltrate the enemies, and then you should be able to somehow blend in with the enemies. We should be able to have the option between snapping their neck or like stabbing them, and you should be able to do stealth better from above and in the air. And you should be able to have like stealth kills like in Assassin's Creed Unity, where you can kill from cover, like basically like Uncharted and Assassin's Creed, like that kind of stealth. And also, like, if you kill with a bow, that shouldn't give away your stealth. It doesn't make any sense how they could spot you if you shoot a bow. And also, I think with the bow, there should be different like arrow types and bow types. I also believe like the Nemesis system is great as it is, but it's just the AI, it needs to be more dynamic. It needs to be like more unique. But it's great as it is, but it should be like expanded upon. It shouldn't just be orcs. It should be like all kinds of enemies, including humans too. And the graphics are good as it is, but they could also improve the graphics. I mean, it is great as it is though. And I think what they should do is have like hundreds of enemies on the screen instead of like 10 or 20. It should be like a couple hundred. And also, what I mean by improving the graphics is, like, pretty much most of the graphics are good. It's just the textures on the ground need some work, like the texture filtering. And there should also be more detailed on some of the characters. Also, I think, like Assassin's Creed, they should have like you should be able to take over forts, and you should have to like, there should be some missions where you protect forts and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. And with the map, I mean, the map in Shadow of Mordor was okay, but it just got boring after a while, and it was kind of small. And like, they should have like, you should be able to explore the whole entire Middle Earth. That's what I think they should do. That'd make it really fun. And also, it'd be nice to like, also it'd be nice to not have any loading times. I also think they should have a new character and implement a morality system. And it's like, they should have a creator character option, and like you should be able to choose between female and male, or they should have like, you know, a character similar to Talion, but you can customize that character to be from multiple races or skins, and like you should be able to change the skins, the costumes, the clothes, the skin tones, everything. Should have better customization. And like, also, we should have the ability to be the good guy or the bad guy. So like you should be able to have the choice between killing innocents or killing enemies, or like you should or be paid like or have like missions where you can be paid to like be on either side and only be on the side whoever pays you more. And I know this sounds weird and kind of stupid, but I think they should have some kind of like romance system. So like if you like marry someone in the game or have a relationship with someone in the game, it somehow affect the world and the storyline. And I think the storyline should be like open-ended, where it has multiple choices in the storyline and multiple endings. And they also need to improve the ending too, because the ending in Shadow of Mordor, it sucked. They need to make it a lot more epic than that. It was just lousy, and not have a quick time event. Like have a huge boss battle, and have it like not be a cliffhanger. I also think that the missions are pretty good in Shadow of Mordor, but they could improve a little bit. Make it more open-ended. And also, they make the missions have more variety in them. Now, I think they should stick with their own story and timeline like they did in Shadow of Mordor. But it'd be cool maybe to have a couple missions here and there that show off the Fellowship or the Hobbit. Like that'd be pretty cool. Or even if you can't do that, have some kind of cameo with some of the characters from the Fellowship or the Hobbit trilogy. Also, what I think Shadow of Mordor 2 can do is, I think they should have like a crafting, a hunting, a fishing, a wood cutting, and like just have like some kind of skill system altogether. They should also have better physics, like where you could actually destroy parts of the environment, and like kind of have something similar to Dying Light, if that makes any sense, like in terms of the physics. And then I also think that you should have like abilities with the ring. Like if you use the ring, you should be completely invisible and not be able to be spotted, but they should have like a small duration limit. And I think you should have like the ability to brand multiple enemies at one time, like in a certain range if you have the ring. And you should also be able to run a lot faster and do more damage, and also like be harder to kill and be able to like kill faster and stuff. And I think what they should do is, if you have the game, they should have some kind of like a code option available, or they should just make an option in the game where you can have unlimited, where you should be able to have the unlimited ring usage. That would be pretty cool. But like, you have to beat the game entirely to have that option. And also, I think they should have like sailing, like Assassin's Creed, where you actually are on a boat and you can like sail around in the sea and rivers and stuff, and have actually an actual crew. And it'd be cool if they also added lock picking in Shadow of Mordor 2. Now, the next gripe I had with Shadow of Mordor is it didn't have any kind of multiplayer. So what I think they should do in Shadow of Mordor 2 is I think they should actually have like 2 or maybe even 4-player co-op, but at least 2. Kind of like how Far Cry 4 does it, and kind of like how Dying Light does it. And somewhat like Assassin's Creed Unity, but have it like be fully co-op. Like basically the best example would probably be the Saints Row series, where the campaign is completely co-op, you can play any mission together. But like it wouldn't be like forced, it'd be optional. And also like, I think you should be able to spectate like other people's games. Like where you can see like what your friends are doing like while they're in the game, if they allow it, of course, where you can like, where you're kind of like a ghost and you follow them around and stuff, see them like fight the bosses. That'd be pretty cool. And I think with the missions, you should have the option to reset the mission instead of having to go back to the checkpoint. And another thing is, I think the movement system needs to be improved in Shadow of Mordor. I think it should be more like Assassin's Creed. But like, what I suggest is, I suggest that they should put wall running in the game, where you can run up the walls and run from the side like Titanfall. And you should be able to jump the wall. You should also like wall jump like you do in Mario. I know it doesn't make any sense, but I don't know. I just like parkour a lot and like more fluid movement. And I think they should also make the character run a lot faster, because he's pretty slow. Because Talion was a pretty slow character. And of course, like I said earlier, they should have a cover system similar to Uncharted. And I think they should have some kind of wingsuit or glider so you can like fly through the air, but not like have it every single time. Make it like hard, make it only in like certain missions, or make it just hard to get or something. I think they should have grappling hooks like they do in Dying Light. You should be able to like swing like you could in Uncharted and like Prince of Persia. I think the jumping, you should be able to jump higher than how you normally jump in Shadow of Mordor. Like it should be 2 or 3 times higher, and I also think you should be able to jump farther too. It'd be also cool if they had like how in Assassin's Creed Unity, where you can go through the inside buildings. They should have where you can jump through the windows in Shadow of Mordor 2, jump through the trees, where you can actually slide under stuff, or just slide in general. Or like also like have like different kinds of landing options when you land onto the ground. Well, actually no, they already have that, so never mind. But also, I think you should be able to swim, because for some reason you're not allowed to swim in Shadow of Mordor. I don't know why. It's 2016. Every game should have swimming and diving. And anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about. Peace out.